Alright, hello everybody and welcome back to the Summit for China qualifiers. We're here down in the lower bracket for our final game of this best of three between LGD Gaming and Invictus Gaming. We're all tied up 1-1. I'm Basskip, joining me is Winter, and let's get straight into it. So, Winter, how you doing?
I am fine, except that I'm late for the game. Sorry.
That's alright. The wrong schedule was posted in a couple of places. So I think it's excusable, but anyway.
Thanks for being understanding. Covering up my tracks.
All right, so once again, we're gonna see the Doom and the Dark. All right, I need to give these guys some in-game sound. The Doom and the Darkseer banned out by IG, LGD gonna get rid of the Brood and the Shadow Fiend. So still pretty much the exact same thing as we saw in the previous game, and a lot of familiar faces coming out. But this time around, the Tusk is actually gonna make it through. And LGD are going to waste no time in snapping that up. So, What do you?
They made an
adjustment
though. The last game they didn't ban the Brood in the first phase, right? They banned it in the second phase.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because last game. Yeah.
That is strange though. Like if you, maybe they feel like IG wanted to go for some Brood play this game. But it's usually strange where if you decide to ban especially a Brood pick, like you decide to ban it in the first phase, you do it like consistently in the first phase every game.
Yeah, I mean the pressure is on a little bit more, but yeah, I totally agree with you.
And you don't really want to lose, a third game versus Brood.
Yeah, that would just suck. It's just the kind of hero. It's like the Broods and the Huskars and the. And that vein of hero where it just gets picked
Huskar,
and you're like, we lost.
Meepo.
Yeah.
Meepo as well.
Those pocket picks.
So they open with Tusk. I mean, it's quite like I think Tusk is more the best opening. Like some may say, like very versatile. You can do a lot of stuff with it. I still think he's one of the best heroes in the patch. And IG responds with Slaughter Undying, which is also a very good opening two picks. And LGD responds with Gyro to deal with the Tombstone, so you have a stronger laning phase against the Undying. Because generally with Undying, you want to pressure the safe lane. And I think I mentioned in the last game, heroes that are considered better as a carry against that lane is probably just Juggernaut and Gyro. The rest of the carries are I wouldn't consider Razor in that department because Razor is like a semi carry. It's not exactly a hard carry type of hero.
Yeah, I feel like Razor as well has been a little bit underwhelming as of late. There are some teams that run him well, but it seems like in general he's still not in the best place.
Yep. So they banned the Wind Ranger, which is understandable as well, but the Viper seems strange for me. I mean, I guess Viper, okay, actually it's not that strange because with Undying, if you want to build a 5-man lineup, you can actually use Viper as a mech carrier and you just 5-man and keep pushing. In that regard, I guess it's fine. Because the Wind Ranger is obviously for the Slaughter. And maybe LGD can, because with the Viper ban, it might also mean that the Queen is much stronger right now. So they can definitely go for it if they want to.
Yeah, it seems like both of the wins so far in this series, the team that's won has been the team that has had the better 5-man lineup and that is just 5-man for the majority of the game. So yeah, I agree with you. I think the Viper ban is really targeted at that idea of, okay, look, we just want to have the better 5-man. We want to be able to take team fights whenever we want, and that really does seem to be the way that the next round of bans have gone. The Clockwork gets removed, good early initiation, good skirmish throughout the whole game, same kind of story for the Visage. IG still leading on this Rubik pretty happily, and they have been pretty successful with it so far, so nothing too shocking just yet. I am surprised to see the Witch Doctor. I think he's still strong, but from memory his stats this patch have actually been a little bit unimpressive. I don't know if that's just who's playing him though.
I think they just won team fight, right?
Yeah.
If you talk about supports that have they have very good team fight with levels, it's either Witch Doctor or Disruptor. But Witch Doctor is more more focused in laning. You're much stronger in laning phase if it's against two heroes, whereas Disruptor is only good if it's a 2 versus 1 situation against a lone offlaner. If you look at IG's lineup right now, it's very likely that the Slaughter is coming to the offlane with the Undying. I mean, it's not like it's very likely there's a chance that it might happen. You obviously can still run Slala safe lane, but based on the games where they put Lore on the offlane, so there's a very good chance that it's an Undying plus Slala. That's why I felt like they wanted to have at the same time a very good a support that's very good in the lane plus good at team fight. So Witch Doctor fits that category.
Do you like the Witch Doctor more than the Dazzle, say? Like, Gyrocopter Dazzle was an opening that we were seeing not even too long ago, right? And
I mean, Dazzle is also okay with Gyro, but you have less, I guess, less kill potential compared to Witch Doctor because you don't have a stun on Dazzle. I mean, it's more defensive purpose, and Witch Doctor can be used as a very offensive tool in the lane plus in team fights because you're dealing damage with your Death Ward, whereas Dazzle is more like keeping everyone else alive and healing and sustaining. So they are both very different. They are both supports that are very different in nature, but they are both very good in the lanes.
True. I like the Witch Doctor as well from the perspective of, and this is a minor thing, but against the Rubik, it should be in theory impossible to steal the Death Ward because you can always just toggle heal.
Yeah, I mean that's in theory, you know.
But it always happens. So I mean, I'll bring it up now,
happens.
but it's probably only so that later in the game when it inevitably happens, then it'll.
10 seconds.
I guess we can talk about it then, but. Anyway, there's still some amazing spells for Rubik to steal regardless this game. You're never really going to be unhappy with Tusk, never really going to be unhappy with Lina. Gyrocopter Flat Cannon's not great, but if you can get your hands on a call down, that's definitely amazing.
Dude, amplify damage, Slala's gonna M someone and then you have Flat Cannon or Rubik. how, that's a thing, you know?
Very, very scary. The right-click Rubik. You can see some phase boots. Rubik builds phase boots sometimes.
Yeah, that was like the
strat.
mid-Rubik days. The mid-Rubik days where Dandy likes to take it mid.
I miss mid-Rubik, but
LGD.
anyway. Invictus Gaming gonna go
everyone-
for the Alchemist.
Everyone needs an Aghanims. Why not? And you know, I feel like Undying plus Alchemist is a really good duo together. It's not something you say a lot, but because of the fact that how the two heroes function. Because Undying is very strong in the early game, and Alchemist is very weak in the early game. So they both complement each other very well.
Yeah,
It's like the Undying will help hold the early game together for the Alchemist, so he can actually farm a lot more, a lot better because he's safer, and it's also for the stacks, you know. You can use Tombstone to farm the stacks, and you can use the Tombstone to defend the Alchemist when the enemy is coming to contest. So it has a lot of hidden underlying synergy between the two picks, and BH is the very common pick you see against Alchemist, BH or Night Stalker, because you want a hero that can actually run in, place wards, scout the fat Alchemist trying to farm his way into victory, and you kill him or you may even kill his stacks. So that's a very common response to teams that pick Alchemist.
yeah. And as much as the comeback gold mechanics and whatnot have been changed, Alchemist is still a pretty big gold pinata for the early through mid stages of the game before he starts tanking up. So
Bounty rune yourself to victory, some may say.
yeah. So I like the Bounty Hunter from that perspective. I guess the other thing to talk about with the Undying that you kind of mentioned in passing is that the Alchemist, he protects the Alchemist a little bit, the Undying, and then once you get into the later stages of the game, Alch can always slap an Aghanim Scepter on the Undying and extend his usefulness.
Yeah, that's called repaying the favor, dude. You know, he took care of you. You have to pay the fees for having a nanny at the house.
I carried you. Now it's your turn to carry me. I think that's exactly the way that it goes. Anyway, so
I mean, it's fair, so can't complain.
yeah. So this time around, it's going to be DD Sue who makes the early TP movement out, just to get some vision over the Ancients. This ward isn't going to block it out, but it is potentially going to spot a ward being placed exactly here on the high ground by IG, since they want to have their Ancients protected, and we'll see. This might work out.
Though. Usually when the teams, they make this movement, they place the ward like around here. They stand here, the support runs up to this position and they place the ward here. Because you're already in a very deep position, so you want to get a ward that it's even harder to deward. Sometimes this ward might actually still be removed, sometimes.
30 seconds.
Yeah, and
But I
sometimes
guess
you
they
see
want-
people go really deep, like all the way
Yeah,
back here.
I guess they really wanted the Ancients region, so it's against the Alchemy, so they wanted to make sure that you don't farm. You know, a lot of teams, I think especially Secret, when they draft Undying plus Gyrocopter together, they use these two heroes to farm Ancients very, very much all the time. So Mama, yeah, is he gonna make the play?
It's worth
The
it.
steal.
Steal the bounty. He can't spam click because he's going to reveal himself from invis, and he didn't shadow walk early enough. He's trying. Is he going to get it? No, not quite. Rabbit's got the faster fingers. That was almost really big plays, but oh well. He's still going to give
nice,
the
right?
Alchemist a hard time otherwise.
Even if you die trying, I think it's worth the shot though, because of how much it changes the laning phase. Because he's basically screwed, right? Because he don't see you, and he's skill. Let's say he already used his point on Grievous Green, and then he don't get the rune. The lane is so god awful for the Alchemist.
Yeah, Lena definitely gives him a very hard time. And Undying isn't even the best hero to zone out mid. You know, we occasionally see this with like a Dazzle or a Bane or something coming in at level 1 to zone out the opposing mid laner. Yeah, Wyvern as well, but Undying doesn't quite match up in the same way.
Undying is okay against certain heroes, but maybe not Lina. Lina has very long range and a very good nuke at level 1. Maybe against a weaker hero like a Shadow Fiend, it could work. Because you drain his strength and then you are much stronger, and it's very hard for the Shadow Fiend to trade blows at level 1. Yeah, but against Lina, it's very tough for Undying to zone the Lina out.
Yeah, Super's even sticking around a little bit longer here. Didn't try and go for an immediate stack at 1 minute, so we'll see how he spends this next 50 seconds, but I think 2 minutes is going to be probably an inevitable stack from him. Maybe on the Ancients and then try and protect the rune. We'll have to see.
It depends, so maybe he just at this point wants to run to the offlane to pressure with the Slala. You want to secure his lane as well.
Just use the decay. Be scary.
Dude, I didn't know you can actually see if the player is hovering a skill point over a specific skill. Was it? Because I saw the sprint getting, never mind. I saw something weird with the sprint. It was like the color changed with the sprint.
Oh, weird.
Because he was maybe choosing to skill between sprint or walk, the Slithering Crush, and then does it work that way? Then you can actually
I don't
see
think so. I don't think you can see the level up menu because unless you're like specifically hovering over it. I don't know. Maybe it's new stuff. Test it out in a lobby sometime. But
oh, that's interesting. If you can actually see if the player is deciding between what spell or not.
What I really want added is quick buy. I want to see the players quick buy. I don't understand why you can't. You can in when you're spectating if you go player perspective, but for whatever reason it's not added. I mean, I know that a lot of the overlays will use this space for advertising and stuff. Yeah, Rabbit gets stunned. Gonna get slowed up as well. MMY already had the Janata hit, and I think this should be a kill. A couple more auto attacks. Yeah, maybe he's gonna finish it up. Has that extra damage with the Null Talisman and the double Ironwood. Not Ironwood Branch, just Iron Branch. Oh boy.
The GG branch,
The GG branch, sure.
We used to call it the GG branch. But that was a very well timed rotation as well, because the creep wave was like at bottom, so he came in at like a spot where the sentry couldn't give, like he didn't see the bounty hunter until it was really too late. So it was a well timed gank by Mamoya. And I mean, Alchemist doesn't mind it that much, but it's gonna put the Lina's timing a lot faster. Like the Lina is gonna come online a lot faster because of that. So the Alchemist has to be very much, playing very defensive once the Lina is like level 5, close to level 6.
Yeah, and the Lina especially is a hero that can give the Alchemist a really hard time. I mean, he's not going to be building any survivability in the early stages.
You want to build like Shadow Blade and all the items. You want to build like all those like Shadow Blade maybe to hunt the Alchemist. I think against Alchemist you have to build items that will allow you to catch him when he's farming, like split pushing, whatnot. So I think Shadow Blade is a very good choice of item this game for the Lina. Maybe after his use, obviously not the first item, but after the use.
Juan wanted the rune, he's gonna get it, but it might cost him his life here. Ferrari made his way down as well. One more nuke comes in. RTK considering whether or not he needs to deny himself to Roche. Ferrari's still running. Blink's gonna be off cooldown in 1 second. Has it now, needs to be careful. He's just trying to make I think he's trying to waste a little bit of maybe's mana. Sees the stun animation coming out, and will be blinking back. But so they lose Chuan. He did manage to swipe the rune, but still going to be a nice pickup there for LGD, and the Bounty Hunter's having a really good start here.
Was it? Oh, it was a bounty rune, right?
Yeah.
It was.
So Alk unfortunately gets the invis, but still farming all right on the middle lane. One person to talk about is Sylar, who's doing fantastically for himself top lane. I think the Undying only went up there and stuck around for a tiny bit, so it didn't really matter too much. Rabbit's skilled a point into the concoction, but he's gonna self-stun, maybe realizing what's going on because he had the vision from both this ward and MMY being just up on the hill, so that's...
Oh, dude. He didn't have sentry though, so it
was totally blind.
Stun.
Totally blind.
But he saw him charging the stun before he went in this.
Call down gets dropped top lane. Looks like a good couple of cask bounces coming out. And Slardar with the sprint active just dies.
Can't do that with a Dazzle. You can only do that with a Witch Doctor.
Very true.
Even if it's lucky, if he gets more than one cast, but it's still like, that's what Witch Doctor can provide that the Dazzle can't.
Yeah, so DDC getting off to a good start. There's some pretty good levels on the Bounty Hunter as well. He's going to open up on Ferrari here. RTK not willing to waste the snowball since there is a pretty easy blink away from Ferrari. So they're both going to hold their nerve, and it's just going to end up being some harassment. But RTK is getting some pretty good levels. All of the support attention has really been focused on the mid lane so far, and especially with rotating in Super and Chuan and not getting that kill, that really hurt.
It's very normal, you know, in an Alchemist game. The team that has the Alchemist would use a lot of resources in stacking or making sure that the Alchemist doesn't get ganked at the start. And the team on the other side would try to focus on a lot of attention to pressuring the Alchemist. So the other lanes naturally becomes, you know, sometimes a lot easier. Not all the time it happens, but in a lot of the games it still relieves a lot of pressure for the off lane.
You were talking about the potential for the Slardar to make early rotations without having too many levels, and looks like that's exactly what we're going to see here.
He's still level 3 though. But he's still very useful in like this sort of ganks. He can sprint in, land a crush for his team. Oh no, maybe scouting up.
Pops the double damage. Backup is on its way. Luo's just kind of kiting around a little bit here. There is more help coming in, but maybe he's going to get lifted up and Sonic Wave's going to knock him down. RTK trying to make his escape here, but I think he's going to be finished. Sprint's coming off cooldown in 1 second. Luo just going to have to look for the crush. Will just find it on the edge, and IG successful smoke gank. I think even more successful than they were hoping there, given that maybe he was lurking around with the double damage.
I think that situation explains why Asala is a really good hero on the offlane right now, because he can actually do that with just a few levels. Like how many other offlaners could have actually landed that stun? Because Sada was able to do it because of being, you know, because he has sprint. Like anyone else wouldn't be able to do that. Obviously, apart from Tusk, because you can just snowball in.
Yeah, definitely shows why he's one of the premium offlaners at the moment. Alright, so Rabbit didn't have the most amazing start, but his supports have dutifully set up some stacks for him. I think he got a bounty rune just earlier as well. So.
It's Alchemist, you know. You don't really need a brilliant start. You're always going to be, you know, getting ahead as time goes by. As long as you don't die too many times, so...
That was a bit weird. Rabbit was running right at the rune, and then Ferrari swoops in out of nowhere and
it's not a bounty rune, so you lost your right to argue for getting the rune. If it's a bounty rune, I can give it to you.
Rabbit, he's gonna remember that. He's not gonna that first Aghanim Scepter. I think it's going to
definitely not for you, Queen.
Yeah, it's definitely going to Super now.
Oh, the courier.
Why wants the courier? We've got RTK in here as well. There's so many heroes from LGD. This isn't even close to their side of the map. They're going to get the courier as well. MMY.
Damn, that was so good for them. They got both. I thought they would have only gotten
and
the
Rabbit's
kill.
going to TP and the stun is not going to land. He's still getting blocked in, but the call down not doing any damage. Chuan just sitting on the other edge of this, but DDC comes running in with the cast. They're going to snowball further forward. It looks like the Rubik is definitely dead here. Probably just to the Maledict's damage. Rabbit running forward with his ultimate active, doing a little bit. Ferrari gonna run in with that haste that he grabbed earlier. He's got the Sonic Wave in a couple of seconds, but not quite enough mana. Does have a Mango, but he's just gonna get bursted down by the Rocket Barrage, and there's gonna be a deny coming out from Sylar.
That's more like revenge as well from last game. Sylar probably arguing with ROTK like, take that, I'm denying you.
The team dynamic working itself out, but that was huge for LGD. That was huge. What did they get? Yeah. They got the courier. They got 2 kills, 3 kills.
They didn't kill the Alchemist, right? Oh, but Alchemist is not saving up for Radiance anymore. Just realized he's going for a mech.
So this is a little bit more old school. He's now switching over to getting points in the Unstable Concoction as well.
I mean, you can still go for carry, but like what Super did at Nanyang was he went face Mac SNY AC, then BKB. I mean, you can still transition into a carry later if you can actually make the Mac useful in this stage of the game. Because they have a very strong 5-man lineup with the Tombstone as well. So maybe they are thinking that I want to reach the timing where Undying's level 7. I have Mac on Alchemist, Sonic Wave, and obviously, if possible, the Blink as well on Sada. So that is the timing where IG is looking to go for. And LGD knows that before that timing comes, they want to take as much map control as possible, as much towers, and place deep wards. Roshan is maybe a little too difficult for them. Even with the medallion, it's not going to be easy for the lineup.
LGD are rotating in here. They are being spotted out.
Oh, look at the wards. They have a sentry here, so they think there's no vision there. Oh dear, the sentry towards the right, but there's actually a ward towards the left.
Ah, yep. Yeah, a somewhat unexpected place to see the ward, but it's going to work out nicely. RTK, stolen Ice Shard's getting turned around, but he dodges the concoction stun with the snowball going back in onto Chuan. Does not have enough mana for a punch, and that means that Chuan just going to get healed back up and be just fine. They will end up getting that kill in the end.
Might have been a 1-for-1 if he had mana for the punch.
Yeah, just needed to get the wand charges off, but wasn't able to, unfortunately.
Yeah, he didn't have enough time for that, so too bad.
Too bad, so sad.
It just only
still
happened
running
because,
around.
just look at the way they are moving. They think there's no wards because of the sentry there.
And how'd you gonna try and fight this, it looks like. Scatter Tyler with the Ice Shards. Couple of tracks coming out. Chuan would love to get his hands on that.
Like, why are they ready all the time? Isn't there no ward there?
we de-warded them. Like, what's going on? They're always aware. We just want this pick-off and we want this tier 1 tower for free, but no such luck.
Yeah, you see that they are trying to utilize this window. They know Slara doesn't have Blink. They don't have the Mac. Oh, they actually have the Mac on Alchemist. They don't have a level 7 on Undying yet. So they want to just pressure at this time.
Yeah, they've just picked up the track as well, so team fights now could be good for IG with the mech, but there's also that associated risk that if they go badly, they're going to be handing over a lot of track gold to a very snowbally LGD side. So they have to be careful about this as well. Tron going to come in, they go for the lift, Tyler in a little bit of danger, they get the crush off, Sonic Wave coming out as well. The Unstable Concoction is going to be enough damage, DDC turns it around, does manage to drop the Death Ward, but Ferrari jumps forward, he does manage to get the steal on the Death Ward. Tron's going to run in, but he doesn't have enough mana, pops the Arcane Boots, will be able to turn it around now, it's doing good damage to maybe. He's got the Yule Scepter to buy some time, will be able to sell fuels in the face of the Unstable Concoction. It's a 2-for-2 so far. Looks like Bounty Hunter survived all the way through.
Just when you say you won't get the Death Ward.
Yep. I jinxed it, Winter. I jinxed it. Alright, so how many tracks? 2 tracks. Rabbit is still tracked though, so it looks like probably only the 1 track kill maybe for that fight.
Yeah, that was really key though. ROTK didn't manage to. He tried to snowball and dodge some of the damage for the gyro though, but he was a little too late there. That would have been a very LGD favored fight if they actually managed to. Look at that!
It's this ward again, Winter. It's the most valuable ward that I think I've ever seen.
You know what Sebastian said? He said that you can never be 100% sure unless you kill the ward. If you don't kill the ward, you have to assume there's a ward somewhere else, but you just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to take the gamble anyway, right? If you're like, there's a chance that there's a ward, but we still have to run through with the little bit of confidence that we have. But yeah, this ward's been amazing for IG, and they're gonna smoke up now, looking to continue to grab a few more pickoffs. MMY might reveal this though. Do they have any dust? No sentries getting dropped.
Sentry. There's a sentry on Rubik.
Yeah, Chuan has a sentry. Who else has a sentry?
But he thinks that someone was farming here. That's why he didn't pop a sentry or dust. A sentry. Yeah, he thinks that someone was farming the small camp, and it revealed them.
Oh, they did put one down, but it was just a little bit late. It was actually Super who put down that sentry ward. If Chuan had been the one to put one down, I think
they see him now.
Now they're going to realize.
They see him.
Lina also has an invis. They're going to spot him out. The Death Ward again doing good work. Alright, Chuan's going to pick up that kill. Unfortunately, doesn't manage to get another steal off, and looks like this Death Ward's going to end up fading, but it shouldn't be a huge deal end of the day. But LGD still really pressing. They are
They
looking
have to
get whatever
realize
they can.
something is wrong, right? Every movement they make past that
Radiant's
junction.
middle tower is under
Look at
attack.
IG, they saw the Tusk running in, so they TP'd Hero's bot again.
And they know
And this
it.
bot is actually winning them the game.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Lena, well, she's not going to get anything out of that Invis. Runs over towards mid, but IG keen to try and take a fight here. They're not in the best position. Sylar, if he gets caught out here, it could be big trouble. He's got 1 point in the call down, not quite level 11 just yet.
He wants to farm his blink, he's very close. On the Slaughter.
Oh yeah, 2100.
Sylar, is he going for BKB or...
Or is it Sanj?
No. BKB helps
BKB's
with
pretty
the...
good.
Yeah, but it doesn't dodge a lot of the things that IG have.
Yeah, you're
It's
still
not
gonna
like
get
a
Sonic
super
Wave,
good-
you're still gonna get amp damaged.
Oh, top lane.
Oh,
The blink?
Slardar.
Did he get the blink?
No.
Oh
1900.
no,
Very crucial
that is a
pickoff.
that is a very game-changing kill for LGD. I guess it even things out with the fact that this bot has been doing so much work for IG, and then now LGD gets a very key pick off on the Slaughter.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, and that's gonna let LGD apply a little bit more pressure. This tier 2 bottom is already pretty low. And this is a really difficult area to fight into as well if you're IG. You're fighting up a hill to defend your tower, and you're up against Tusk and the Gyrocopter, both of which are gonna punish you if you gather up at all. But it looks like LGD are just gonna back up. Are they close to any items? That's the question. Sylar's still sitting on 1.9k right now. So it looks like maybe...
Oh, this queen is actually so poor. Oh my god. Sylar is rich, but this queen is poor.
There's another Yule's top lane. Big trouble for Super. There isn't a Laguna Blade, but they don't even need it. It's just a few more right clicks. The ward scouting people moving into position, and maybe an MMY just gonna keep knocking them down.
You know, there are two ways of ganking. One way is you keep moving around the map, and the other way is like what LG just did. They sat and wait at the same spot for quite a long time, and they got 2 key kills.
No,
Waiting is
fortunately,
sometimes,
it's
you know, waiting is sometimes better than moving around. Nets you more kills.
yeah, especially a good place to wait since they have the vision there, so they're not really gambling at all. They can see who's turned up, they can see if their hero's sitting behind them. It's really unlikely that IG would send somebody top again and then have like 2 heroes smoked behind, so... Yeah, it's a couple of good pickoffs. This Undying hasn't really done all that much, I feel, this game.
He's level 7.
At the very
He's
least,
level
yeah.
7. Yep. Level 7
They
plus
tried
Blink
for the
on Slaughter.
crush. Sylar, however, gonna pop a drum charge and keep on running away. Ferrari
Radiant's top tower
wants to
is
continue
under
the pursuit, but RTK also joining in here now. He's got his Blink Dagger picked up.
They need the sprint. They need the sprint.
Sprint into Crush. Who can he catch? RTK can look for the turnaround. They don't manage to stop the blink. Ice shards were stolen and they're getting turned around. Sylar's still pretty tanky, and the snowball catches almost everybody. Mech getting delivered as well for the bounty hunter in the midst of all of this. RTK gonna keep on fighting. It's 2 down so far. Chuan has a snowball. Will be able to dodge the light strike array, but I don't think that's gonna save his life. And it only lines
Oh
him up
my
for another
God.
track as he's gonna be
That-
brought down.
That
Maybe
freaking
with the
snowball
double.
hit 4 heroes.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Oh, and they're not done.
Track?
Maybe gets the grab.
Oh my
Are they gonna
God.
track this one? Did they?
My god, I think they almost lost the game based on that. That was like 4 track kills.
Radiant's bottom
And
tower
if they'd
is under
caught the
attack.
crush at the tier 2, completely different fight. But they missed the crush,
Radiant's bottom tower
they
has
lose the
fallen.
tier 2 top, and then LGD still have time to get all 5 heroes into position on bottom lane to be able to take that fight.
Radiant's
So
bottom tower is under attack.
that was huge for LGD. They've got no Sonic Wave. I'm afraid
Oh,
he just
no.
walks in, gonna get stunned up, brought down.
Alright.
What was
They're
that?
tilting. They're definitely tilting after that. Oh my god,
GG.
GG. Double
GG.
GG's.
I mean, it's a Tron classic to disconnect after the GG before the game actually ends, but
LGD.
oh my god. That's
Both
that.
teams have anger management, you know, this series.
Internal issues.
Oh dear. He was really mad that the Slaughter missed the crush there because they were smoked, and it was just like a, you know, it shouldn't have happened.
It's just the
So-
judging the blink distance and
Yeah,
executing,
he
right?
missed by a very, very big margin as well. It wasn't like even close. So he was probably pretty mad at that. Because it was their timing, right? I mentioned. They needed, their timing is level 7 Undying, Blink on Slaughter. That was their timing, and with the Mag on the Alchemist. So they were supposed to be really, really strong. They cannot afford to lose that fight with the Sonic Wave. There's no, if they lose that fight, it means the game is more or less going to be over because there's so many track kills and it's just like too much snowball out of control. And obviously the Tusk landed a very very good snowball. He sort of won them the team fight. He stunned 4 heroes, so big props to RTK in that fight. But it was also again you come back to the crush from the starter, which missed it initially.
And they'd even gambled a little bit as well on the Alchemist build. Not opting to sort of aim more towards the late game, have more impact later on. He went for the mech. They were kind of focused on hitting that timing that you were talking about, and as soon as that timing is an absolute disaster with like 4 track kills and you get absolutely nothing. I think it's a fair GG, but at the same time it's like
it's a rage. I mean it's a fair GG, but they were obviously very very upset. It's just very obvious they were. Like some teams, even though after you lose a fight like that with that timing, you will still play on and try to take another fight. You might still be able to come back into the game. It's not like I know I mentioned that it was like that was like almost game losing for IG, but there's always still a chance that your opponent messes up, or you get incredibly lucky with a rune, or you get a very key pick off. Shit can still go wrong for the opponent even if it's a Kaneki goalie.
Botched Roshan fight. 5 hero crush. So you give yourself the chance. Your throne your throne doesn't explode just because you lose that team fight unless you call the GG. But insult to injury, IG, that is going to be the end of their run here in the Summit 4 China qualifiers, going out right before a qualifying match, and LGD are going to be moving forward to await the loser of the upper bracket match that's still to be played. That is going to wrap it up for today. It's only 1 series per day moving forward for the Summit for China. So we'll be back tomorrow with some more action. Thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget to support my co-caster, Winter. It's Winter Dota on Twitter and Facebook, etc. Beyond the Summit as well. Don't forget to support those guys. And I'll throw it over to Winter if he has any closing words.
No, I just want to say I'm sorry for being late for the first game.
That's fine, buddy. It was great co-casting with you. Always a pleasure.
Thanks. I guess I'll catch you again tomorrow. Same time, right? 5 p.m.
Sounds good. And it's a best of 5 tomorrow, I believe. So should be good.
More games.
More Dota. I'm excited.
Yeah, I hope we can see something different as well, because like some of the Chinese teams have just been really, they've been using the same stuff. Whereas if you look at like a team like Secret, they've been more flexible with their picks, like the European teams, the Western teams. I mean, I guess it's normal, right? Chinese teams going back to their, standard picks.
Yeah.
Except for Vichy, I guess the only team is like Vichy from China that picks differently.
Well, you'll get your wish because it is Vichy versus.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah. So we should hopefully see something mixing up a little bit. So.
Whoops.
With that, guys, we're excited. We're gonna see you tomorrow. Hopefully, you'll be back. The Summit 4 China qualifiers continue then, and we'll see you around.